So I've just got back from watching Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire with my son, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about it here. I'm not gonna give any spoilers, so I'd like you guys to go out and see it for yourself, and that in itself should tell you how I feel about Godzilla X Kong. Now, we have to remember that this is not the Japanese Kong and Godzilla movies. This is not Godzilla -1. This is the Legendary Pictures Monsterverse that started in 2014 with Gareth Edwards' Godzilla. Gareth Edwards' Godzilla was very good. I really loved that movie, and Godzilla was actually used quite sparsely in it, which might not have been a good thing, but when he was on screen, he was extremely imposing. There was a massive sense of scale. 10 years down the line in 2024 with Adam Wingard's Godzilla X Kong, not the same kettle of fish at all. We kind of have jumped the shark at this point, to the point where we just have to take this movie and these Monsterverse movies for what they are. They are a silly, fun, CGI slugfest of giant kaijus beating each other up. That is what they are, and they should absolutely not be ashamed of being that, because my God, I had a lot of fun with this film. My son had a lot of fun with this film. One thing that I really did love about it was the fact that there are sequences in this movie where there is no dialogue whatsoever. It's just Kong and some other kaiju, and you absolutely understand what they're saying, what they're doing, what their emotions are by what the animators have managed to create here. The CGI is pretty cartoony, especially on Godzilla. It does seem like the animation department spent a lot more time animating Kong than they did Godzilla, but Scar King, the villain, who I don't really think this is a spoiler, doesn't actually show up till quite late in the movie. He's almost animated like a cartoon here, in my opinion. He looks like a cartoon, he moves like a cartoon, he acts like a cartoon. But is that a bad thing? Like I said, you've got to take these movies for what they have become. I mean, just think back to Godzilla vs. Kong. Same director, Adam Wingard. That thing is a silly kaiju slugfest. There's like a 15-minute fight scene in the water with the boats. And that's not bad. It's okay to embrace the silliness, the fun. Because that's what this movie is as well. It's the next step. It is the next step of embracing that silliness and saying, this is what our movie is, and we are absolutely not apologizing for it. Here's more. Around 50% of this movie, I would say, a good 50% of this movie is just big monsters on screen, which is what you want to see from one of these movies. Now, the downsides. There is a couple of silly human subplots that, let's face it, they're not needed. They're not needed in a film like this, but they're there. And I guess the reason that they're there is to provide some actual dialogue. Dan Stevens, for me, was the absolute standout human character in this movie. I think he did an absolutely great job as the character Trapper. Made me laugh. I guess the saving grace of them is that they are quite few and far between. I mean, this isn't a particularly long review. It doesn't need to be. It's just telling you that we've been to see this movie. I can recommend it, but you've got to go in taking it for what it is. This is not Godzilla -1. This is Legendary Pictures, Warner Brothers, Godzilla X Kong, now 10-year-old Monsterverse. It is a CGI slugfest between massive monsters for the most part and silly, convoluted human subplots. That's what you're getting, and if you go in expecting that, you're going to have an absolute blast with this movie. Just my opinion. So, that's it. I say, go out and see it. Go out and see Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, if you've got some time, if you've got the money, because it's worth it. It's worth killing a couple of hours to just suspend belief and suspend reality, just to enjoy silliness. Something that we don't really get anymore at the cinema. So go out and see it. Have a great time with it, I hope. I certainly did. My son certainly did. And if you've taken anything from this video, if you've enjoyed it at all, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course you can become a channel member to help us out from just 99 pence a month. Thank you for watching this one. We will of course speak to you again in the next one. Bye for now.